Now I come to COVID protocols and COVID safe elections, I think for which many persons are waiting and a lot of queries are coming even before announcement of the polls. I will start that there were a lot of queries on this issue, that what will happen, what is going to happen. But I would like to start with a very, couplet. यकीन हो तो कोई रास्ता निकलता है, हवा की ओट भी लेकर चिराग जलता है. So therefore, यकीन होना चाहिए. We should have a yaqeen, we should have a faith, we should have a absolutely belief that we can pass through this particular pandemic also through our safety measures, through our proper following of the COVID appropriate behavior. Only then we can sail through effectively, safely into this election process, as has been done in earlier past elections also. The decision to go ahead with scheduled elections was taken after much deliberation, discussions, and careful analysis of the ever dynamic situation. The situation is very dynamic. It is not static. Nobody can predict. Nobody could have predicted earlier also, a month before. So the situation is very, very dynamic. Let me go back to the Constitution of India on this issue. Article 172(1) states clearly that every legislative assembly of every state, unless sooner dissolved, shall continue for 5 years, and no longer. So the period of any constituency is only up to 5 years, and no longer. Any postponement of the assembly may result in a situation which denies people of that state the right to elect an accountable government of their choice. The government will have to be of their choice. It is a democratic process. Democracy forms part of the basic structure of the Constitution, and holding of timely election is the essence of maintaining democratic governance, and this task has been given to the Election Commission of India to hold timely elections. Commission has directed that all central state government officials deployed for election duty shall be doubly vaccinated. So all the officials who will be on the election duty will be doubly vaccinated. On the recommendation of the ECI, the Union Health Ministry has issued orders on 8 February 2021 that all election officials and employees will be treated as a frontline workers, and all eligible officials shall be given a precautionary booster dose accordingly. So these persons will also be given a booster dose, the precautionary dose also. With this, my all polling officials who are on the poll duty will be fully safe. So I have spoken that my booths are safe because my booths are fully sanitized and all provisions of the gloves, sanitizer and everything is there. And here are the polling officials who are the safe. We have directed on our visits also and otherwise also, we have directed the chief secretaries of all polling going states to accelerate the first and second dose of vaccination to all eligible citizens above 18 years. Wherever we have gone, in all the polling stations, we have reviewed the situation of the vaccination. And yes, you people have also reported, you have also informed that we have asked the chief secretaries to expedite this first dose as well as second dose to my electors of this country. And let me share with you the vaccination program, and they have accelerated the vaccination of the persons of various states. Let me share some vaccination figures with you. Data is on January 7th, 2022. In Goa, more than 95.8% people have been vaccinated with both the doses. So almost all population of Goa has got double vaccination. And in Uttarakhand, people have got 99.6% people have got their first dose and 83% have got the second dose. So in Uttarakhand also, the large number of population is vaccinated. In Uttar Pradesh, which was lacking earlier, but after our interventions and after our discussions over there, 90% population had been administered first dose and more than 52% had taken both the doses. In Punjab, 82% had been given the first dose of vaccination and 46% covered by both the doses. In Manipur, 57% had been jabbed with the first dose, while 43% had been administered both the doses. In absolute figures, as on January 7, 2022, more than 15 crore people in these 5 states together have got the first dose of vaccine and more than 9 crore people had been administered both the doses. So this was regarding the safety of electors. There are three components of the elections: polling booth, polling officials, and the electors. So the Commission has taken steps that all these three should be the safe area. As far as the electors are concerned, most of the persons have got the vaccination, as I have just mentioned to you. The polling officials are doubly vaccinated with the booster dose also. Polling stations are safe, as I mentioned to you, that all sanitizations have been done. And before polling also, all polling booths will be fully sanitized. We have also seen the positivity rate of these states before taking decisions. I'll tell you that the weekly positivity rate in UP was only 0.24%. In Uttarakhand, it was 1.01%. In Punjab, it was 2%. Hello?
Slowly. Figures.
Acha, figure. In UP, the positivity rate was 0.24%. In Uttarakhand, the positivity rate was 1.01%. In Punjab, it was 2.1%. In Manipur, it was 1.1%. And Goa, it was something around 13% because of the newer party by the outsider in that state. So these are the positivity weekly rates which we have seen and perused by all of us. And we have taken the opinion of medical experts, the Union Health Secretary, and other secretaries as I discussed with you. We have appointed health nodal officers at the district, state, and assembly constituency level and in all polling states. And in view of COVID concerns, polling time has been increased by 1 hour in all 5 states, and the time will be notified when the notification will be issued of those particular states. In view of emphasis on non-contact based campaign during pandemic conditions, Commission has decided to double the free equitable time allotted to the recognized political parties on Doordarshan and AER during these elections. It is expected that all stakeholders, namely political parties, candidates, campaigners, voters, and authorities engaged in the election process shall be conscious of their prime duty towards public health, safety, and therefore shall abide by the general instructions and other norms of COVID-appropriate behavior as mandated by the respective authorities prescribed. Further, political parties and candidates are advised to conduct their campaign as much as possible through digital, virtual, media platforms, mobile-based mode instead of physical mode, ensuring strict compliance of COVID safety norms. And keeping it in mind, the expenditure limit of the candidates have already been increased from 28 to 40 lakh. A detailed guidelines are being issued and which will be given to all of you regarding the COVID guidelines 2022 as to how the political parties, how the election officials, how the EVM persons will be dealt with and will be dealing with the COVID appropriate behavior. But the main point I would like to share with you, the Commission has decided that no roadshow, padyatra, cycle, bike vehicle rally and procession shall be allowed till 15th January 2022. Commission shall subsequently review the situation and issue further instructions accordingly. So up to 15th of January, because the situation is dynamic, it is not static. No roadshow, no padyatra, no cycle, bike or vehicle rally and any procession. Similarly, no physical rally of political parties or probable candidates or any other group related to election shall be allowed till 15th January. Commission shall subsequently review the situation, considering the situation of the pandemic and issue further instructions accordingly. So up to 15th of January, there is absolutely a moratorium of physical rally and physical road shows. Between 8 p.m. and 8 a.m., no rallies and public meetings. Similarly, like a campaign curfew that on any campaign day. That will continue. No nukkad sabhas will be allowed on public roads, roundabouts or public streets or corners. Fifth, no victory procession after the counting shall be allowed and not more than 2 persons shall be allowed to accompany the winning candidate or his or authorized representative to receive the certificate of election from returning officers. So we are reducing the physical contact, physical availability, and we are saying that more and more virtual and virtual rallies, virtual campaign should be done. However, physical rallies during the campaign period, if after considering the situation, which is very dynamic, and when permitted, after the decision of the Commission, shall be conducted subject to adherence to COVID-19 guidelines. The maximum limit of persons allowed for indoor and outdoor rally meetings shall be as per existing directions of SDMAs. For these meetings, political parties shall distribute masks and sanitizer to persons attending and maintain COVID protocol at entry and exit point. Further rallies and meetings shall be allowed only in earmarked places and with prior permission of district administration. Door-to-door campaign, a maximum of 5 persons including candidates, excluding security personnel if any, shall be allowed to do door-to-door campaign. Each political party candidate shall have to furnish an undertaking in the application form under Suvidha that it shall abide by all the extant instructions, guidelines in this regard. So an undertaking will also be taken whenever any rally will be allowed. Later on, when we review the situation after 15th or something like that, only then again also these undertakings, COVID guidelines have to be strictly followed with each and every person who is involved in the campaign. Let me finish
him
it. After
please
that,
finish. We'll take up your questions thereafter.
Non-compliance of instruction. Anybody violating the instructions on COVID measures will be liable to proceed against as per the provisions of the Disaster Management Act, besides legal action under IPC and other legal provisions as applicable. And the prime responsibility will be resting with the CS and DO as mandated under the DM Act. And our guidelines specifically reiterate this legal position, and the guidelines will be given to each and every one of you. It is reiterated that in case of breach and disregard to the above guidelines, the Commission will not hesitate in cancelling the rallies or not allowing any further rallies by that party. So the COVID protocol is absolutely quite restrictive and quite strong basically that way, so that we can see that no physical rally will be done up to 15th of January. Media, I would like to come to the media now. Media has always been a friend of ECI and has played a very significant and positive role in elections. And this time also, we implore them to help us reach out to all stakeholders regarding safety norms and higher voter participation. It is you only who communicate our message to the public. It is you only who motivates them to cast a vote. It is through you only that we send our messages to them. So you are our friend, and you are the person who can help us in achieving our goals. Social media has also become an important component of life, and Commission has been engaging with social media platforms since 2019, and a voluntary code of ethics had come into play, which will also be applicable. Commission has been engaging and requesting all political parties and candidates to ensure that their supporters do not indulge in hate speeches and fake news. A strict watch on social media posts is being kept to ensure election atmosphere is not vitiated in any manner. Any person or organization indulging in such malicious activity will face harsh consequences. Now I will come to the schedule of elections, I think which you are waiting, and that is something which is very important and a very most important thing. During this time, we have also seen and perused that how the elections were conducted in 2017, how they were conducted in 2012. In 2012, it was done, all the 5 states were done in 9 phases. In 2017, it was done in 8 phases. And now we are reducing it by 1 more phase, and all elections of 5 states will be conducted in 7 phases. I will give you the, I will read it and I will give you.
Total 7.
Total 7. All the 5 states combined together will be completed in 7 phases. I will give you a detailed chart, then you can understand more. Should I start? Because for this you are waiting. That will not be complete without, starting this thing. And the first date of the issue of notification will be 14th January 2022, and which will start from Uttar Pradesh. This will be the first phase of Uttar Pradesh. The issue of notification is 14th January. Last date of nominations 21st January. Scrutiny of nominations 24th January. Last date of withdrawal of candidature 27th January. And date of poll 10th February 2022. This is the first phase. Now let us come to the second phase, which is a very important phase. In second phase, we will be covering 4 states. Uttar Pradesh second phase, Punjab in one phase, Uttarakhand in one phase, Goa in one phase. So Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Uttarakhand and Goa. In second phase, Punjab, Uttarakhand, Goa will be over. And here the issue of notification will be 21st January. Last date of nominations 28th January. Scrutiny of nominations 29th January. And last date of withdrawal of candidature 31st January. And date of poll 14th February, that is Monday. Third phase, only Uttar Pradesh. That is issue of notification 25th January. Last date of nominations 1st February. Scrutiny of nominations 2nd February. Last date of withdrawal of candidature 4th February. And date of poll 20th February, that is Sunday. Uttar Pradesh fourth phase, issue of notification 27th January. Last date of nominations 3rd February. Scrutiny of nominations 4th February. Last date of withdrawal of candidature 7th February. And date of poll 23rd February. Uttar Pradesh fifth phase and first phase of Manipur. Manipur will be done in 2 phases. So on 5th phase, we will be having Uttar Pradesh 5th phase and Manipur 1st phase. Here the issue of notification is 1st February. Last date of notification, last nomination 8th February. Scrutiny of nominations 9th February. Last date of withdrawal of candidature 11th February. And date of poll will be 27th February 2022. Uttar Pradesh 6th phase and Manipur 2nd phase. Here the issue of notification will be 4th February 2022. Last date of nominations 11th February 2022. Scrutiny of nominations 14th February 2022. Last date of withdrawal of candidature 16th February and date of poll 3rd March, that is Thursday. That way Manipur also completed the 6th phase. Uttar Pradesh 7th phase. Issue of notifications 10th February. Last date of nominations 17th February. Scrutiny of nominations 18th February. Last date of withdrawal of candidature is 21st February and date of poll is 7th March. So on 7th March all polling will be over and the date of counting is 10th March 2022, that is Thursday. Last time 2017, the election was announced on 4th of January and the counting was on 11th and here we are announcing on 8th. So we are squeezing the time as also and the phases also. And that particular schedule will also be given to you, and how the phases of UP have been put in 7 phases will also be provided to you by the media cell here. And we have ensured that in all 7 phases of UP, there should be equitable distribution of the assemblies, and that particular map will be given to you by our media cell. Now we call upon all voters in these 5 states to come out and vote as enthusiastically as they have always done in the past, especially the senior citizens, persons with disability and women. Your presence at the polling stations, despite many odds and personal circumstances, is nothing short of being truly inspirational. Our fervent appeal to all stakeholders to maintain COVID appropriate behavior at all times. I'm really thankful to my voters who have casted their vote in the earlier elections, during pandemic also, and in basically in Bihar, in Assam, in Tamil Nadu, in West Bengal, and in many places, Puducherry, Kerala, in many places, the voter turnout of female was much more than the men. And I'm so grateful to all of them that in spite of their in public, the personal inconveniences, they have come and cast their vote. That is the spirit of the voter. That we want that should remain always in their mind. And this is a festival of democracy. They should come out, as I have already enumerated in my earlier paras, that the voters' safety is there, the polling booth is safe, and the polling officials are safe. Therefore, I request to all the voters to come forward and cast their votes. Similarly, I will request to all political parties and entities to mentor their party workers to adhere to COVID safety guidelines, especially during the period of campaign. Let us all remember that the safety of each one of us is our collective responsibility. It is our collective responsibility, and together we can make this happen. Wishing you all the best. Thank you very much.
We'll take the questions. I'll repeat. Please begin with the name of your own name and your media organization name. We'll begin here. I'll come back to you, please. अपना नाम और मीडिया का ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नाम भी बताएं।
सर हेलो सर, नमस्कार। मोहित दुबे, न्यूज़ नेशन से सर मैं हूँ। सर, इतिहास में ऐसा पहली बार हुआ है जब से हिंदुस्तान में लोकतंत्र शुरू हुआ है कि पहली बार रैलियों पर बैन किया गया है। वर्चुअल रैलियाँ होंगी, नुक्कड़ सभाओं को भी आपने बैन लगा दिया है। तमाम जो सियासी दल हैं उल्लंघन करते हुए कहीं ना कहीं पिछली बार भी नज़र आए थे। इस बार अगर वो उल्लंघन करते हैं तो क्या अगर कोई कैंडिडेट है तो उसकी आप उसको रद्द कर देंगे, उसकी कैंडिडेचर को, या क्या उनके ऊपर जुर्माना लगाने का भी प्रावधान है, और मॉनिटर कैसे करेंगे आप लोग?
देखिए, ये मॉनिटरिंग का काम जो है बेसिकली, जो मैंने अभी कोविड गाइडलाइंस में बताया कि वहाँ का जो डीओ है, डीएम एंड सीएस, हु आर द अथॉरिटीज अंडर एसडीएमए आल्सो, दे विल हैव टू टेक ए कॉल. Our persons, our CEO, our observers will be there to ensure that this thing should be absolutely followed. And if anybody does it, we will cancel his rally. We will not allow him to have more rallies into this particular area. So if we do not allow, initially we have already, banned up to 15, as I am telling you. We will further review because situation is very dynamic. I don't know how the situation will emerge, whether it is accelerating or it is decelerating. It is quite possible after some time it may, come down quite drastically, or it may come up drastically. So we will increase the situation. We will see the situation. We will definitely monitor, and the prime responsibility, as I have already spoken to you, that it will rest with the DM and the Chief Secretary, and we will take action against them also. And our persons are already there. Expenditure of all observers, general observers, they are there only to see this, and we will ensure that it should happen, because we are trying first time if something is being done. आगे बढ़िए तो सही, देखते हैं कि आगे आगे होता है क्या.
थैंक यू सर.
बीच के ब्लॉक से हम शुरू करें.
इसी से जुड़ा सवाल है सर. चुनाव के बाद कोई कार्रवाई नहीं होती है.
अपना नाम.
मेरा नाम मुर्शिद करीम है, मैं वंदे मातरम से हूँ. उसी से रिलेटेड सवाल है. आचार संहिता उल्लंघन होने के बाद चुनाव आयोग कार्रवाई नहीं करते, वहाँ के डीएम वगैरह करते जैसा आपने कहा, लेकिन चुनाव के बाद उन नेताओं पे कार्रवाई पूरी तरह से नहीं होते हैं, वो बच के निकल जाते हैं. आखिर क्यों?
देखिए, ऐसा है, इस बार हम जहाँ जहाँ भी गए, 4 स्टेट में हम लोग गए, और हम लोगों ने इसी की समीक्षा की कि 2017 में जो भी पोल ऑफेंसेस में FIR फाइल हुई थी उनका क्या हुआ. And whenever we have sent our DECs also to monitor it, and in some of the states we found that they have been taken to logical conclusions. Some fines have been given, somewhere the imprisonment have been given to those candidates also. So we have taken this stock, and we will ensure this. Now earlier it is quite possible that some monitoring might not have been done, but we will monitor this aspect. And the purpose was only to monitor during our visits to all states was this only, that we should make them aware that the electoral offences will have to be taken to logical conclusions. They cannot remain pending.
So this is Shahid
Mike
Abbas from
इनके पास है,
Informist
आप
Media.
बीच
This
में
side
से ले
on,
लें।
straight on.
हेलो सर,
Straight, sir.
One by one, please.
हेलो हेलो
Shahid Abbas from.
हेलो पीछे से मैं
Sir, this side on your
Prithya.
straight. On your straight.
Shofan.
हेलो
Yes.
I am Shahid Abbas from Informist Media. I want to ask that it is the duty of the poll panel to ensure level playing field for all stakeholders. Now, since the Model Code of Conduct comes into effect with immediate announcement of the schedule, sir, the union budget will be presented on 1st of February as per established practice. The President of India will address the joint session of Parliament before that, and also the economic survey of India will also be laid in the Parliament sometimes just before the budget. Now, sir, will that ensure, and you will perhaps allow that proceedings to can go on. Now, will that allow, ensure level playing field for all stakeholders?
Budget is there's a yearly statement which has to be laid before the Parliament, and it has to be announced. The Election Commission will not like to interfere in the presentation of budget, because that is for the whole country, not limited to these 5 states only. And that is ultimately the summing up and the allocation of expenditure, the revenue raising measures. So how the level playing field will be disturbed, this thing? The level playing field will not be disturbed by the budget.
सर जी मैं सर नीरज पंजाब में जिस तरीके के राजनीतिक हालात हैं तो उसमें सुरक्षा व्यवस्था को लेकर के क्या आपकी तैयारियां हैं?
कहाँ?
पंजाब में जिस तरीके से इस समय चैलेंज उत्पन्न हुआ है,
नाम और मीडिया ऑर्गेनाइजेशन वो शुरू कर चुके थे, कम से कम उन्हें खत्म कर लेने देते आप। अब आप बोलिए।
सर जी, मैं नवनीत मिश्रा हूं, राजस्थान पत्रिका से।
हाँ जी।
पंजाब में जिस तरीके से सुरक्षा व्यवस्था को लेकर चुनौतियां उत्पन्न हुई हैं, ऐसे में आपकी क्या तैयारियां हैं वहां पे सिक्योरिटी को लेकर के?
देखिए, कमीशन ने इन सबका भी पूरा आकलन किया है, सुरक्षा का एंड लॉ एंड ऑर्डर का, और उसके लिए सफिशिएंट CFPF कंपनीज विल बी डिप्लॉयड इन ऑल द स्टेट कंसीडरिंग द पोजीशन ऑफ लॉ एंड ऑर्डर एंड एनी अदर थ्रेट परसेप्शंस।
सर मेरा नीरज न्यूज 18 इंडिया नेटवर्क 18 से।
हाँ नीरज,
मेरा सवाल पंजाब से ही जुड़ा हुआ है, लेकिन डिफरेंट कॉन्टेक्स्ट में है। आपने CFPF की बात की, उनकी तैनाती तो आमतौर पे रेगुलर वे में होती है तमाम चुनाव में, लेकिन कृषि कानूनों का केंद्र रहा पंजाब, बॉर्डर स्टेट है पाकिस्तान से। हाल में ड्रोन के जरिए आतंकी हमले भी हुए हैं। इसके अलावा भी प्रधानमंत्री की सुरक्षा में चूक हुई है, बेअदबी का मामला सामने आया स्वर्ण मंदिर में। तो आपको नहीं लगता कि चुनाव आयोग के लिए ये एक मेजर कंसर्न नहीं है पंजाब का विधानसभा चुनाव इस बार? क्योंकि पहले भी दूसरी वजहों से पंजाब में चुनाव स्थगित या थोड़े वक्त के लिए टाले गए हैं। तो कैसे देख रहा है चुनाव आयोग इस डिफरेंट कॉन्टेक्स्ट में?
नीरज, no election is the same. Every election is different, every state is different. और कमीशन हर चीज़ को उसका आकलन करता है, लोगों से डिस्कशन करता है, जहाँ थ्रेट परसेप्शंस हैं, जहाँ पर इस तरह का फार्मर एजिटेशन है। हम लोगों ने जहाँ जहाँ भी गए हैं सभी लोगों से इसके बारे में भी चर्चा की है कि कौन कौन सी एरिया में किस किस तरह से फार्मर एजिटेशन हुआ, कहाँ कहाँ विड्रॉल हो चुका है, कहाँ क्या सिचुएशन है। तो इन सभी तथ्यों का हम लोगों ने आकलन किया है, और पूरे कमीशन ने जो भी सुरक्षा एजेंसीज हैं उनसे बात की है। हर तरह की सुरक्षा एजेंसी जो बॉर्डर पर हैं उनसे भी, और जो स्टेट में हैं उनसे भी, इन सबका पूरा संज्ञान लेकर ही इस कमीशन ने इलेक्शंस का अनाउंस किया है।
आशीष, आपका सवाल।
पीछे से मैम, यहाँ से ऋषिकेश बोल रहा हूँ, न्यूज़ 24 से।
क्वेश्चन है सर, आई एम शराम रोजेस फ्रॉम ISTV Imphal. For the first time, the pre-poll violence have been happening, especially in 3-4 constituency. In Hairok, one person have been killed for the first time, and many violence are happening in Manipur. And the law and order issue is also a major concern. So what are the steps you will take in case of Manipur, that the violence are taking place right now, to ensure free and fair election in Manipur? Please, sir.
Yes, we had discussed this issue with the Chief Secretary and the DGP in the very recently held video conference in that state. They also apprised about these situations, and Commission is taking all steps so that such violences should not recur. We have also held discussions with the Union Home Secretary in this regard, and therefore even you see that Manipur is being given a 2 phases elections are being done, and we will ensure that these types of things should not recur.
से आप ले लें।
सर, मेरा सवाल ये है कि पिछले आपने कहा कि सारे चुनाव एक जैसे नहीं होते हैं, ये सही है, लेकिन बड़ा मुद्दा ये है कि जो आचार संहिता का और गाइडलाइन का उल्लंघन करेंगे उनके लिए क्या पहले से सजा का ऐलान करेंगे या कार्रवाई कैसी होगी उसका ऐलान करेंगे ताकि उनके अंदर डर बैठे और ये पता रहे? क्योंकि सबको ये उम्मीद है कि कुछ न कुछ ऐसी पिछले 2 चुनाव का अगर हम देखें, पहली लहर और दूसरी लहर के दौरान जो हुए, उस समय पार्टियों ने, उम्मीदवारों ने जम के मनमानी की और उनके ऊपर बहुत ज्यादा कार्रवाई दिखने में नहीं आई। तो अब क्या इसमें कुछ कर रहे हैं?
नहीं, बिल्कुल की जाएगी और इसीलिए एक एडवाइजरी भी जारी की जा रही है जो पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज हैं फॉर डूज एंड डोंट्स, एंड द इलेक्टोरल ऑफेंसेस बिसाइड्स द एमसीसी विल आल्सो बी ब्रॉट टू देयर नोटिस, and if anything is found that they are indulging into any type of a electoral offences which are enumerated in our RP Act, the FIR will have to be filed and that will have to be followed properly.
सर गौरव बोल रहा हूँ टाइम्स नाउ भारत से। उत्तराखंड में भी चुनाव हैं और काफ़ी टफ टेरेन और फरवरी में चुनाव होने हैं और हमने देखा कि काफ़ी ज़्यादा बर्फबारी हो रही है। किस तरह से आप सुनिश्चित करेंगे कि वहाँ के लोग जो हैं वो
आपके इधर हैं?
ये सर इधर
आपके इधर हैं? हाँ, हाथ तो उठाइए।
तो सर उत्तराखंड के लिए सवाल ये रहेगा कि वहाँ पर लोगों के लिए सुदूर इलाकों में खास करके जहाँ बर्फबारी होती है वहाँ पर वोटिंग के लिए आप कैसे भागीदारी बढ़ाएंगे? क्योंकि वहाँ पर हमने देखा कि मतदान प्रतिशत बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं रह पाता इन वजहों से और अभी बहुत ज़्यादा बर्फबारी कई इलाकों में देखने को मिल रही, वो कैसे आप लोग सुनिश्चित करने वाले?